Welcome to another full day in my kitchen video. I've really been enjoying filming these videos. I think now I'm doing them like every 3 to 4 weeks because I just spent a lot of time in the kitchen. That's just the reality of being a homemaker, and I especially really like to cook and bake, and so I just like sharing recipes and sharing what I eat, what I make for my kids, what I make for Corey. This day we actually had friends over at night, so I have a few things that I made for guests. Bright and early in the morning I made a coffee for myself before working out. I did a little pumpkin spice coffee, and then I foam up some Chobani creamer and put that on top. Today I also added some pumpkin spice. It basically tastes like a little Starbucks dupe for much cheaper and a little bit better ingredients because the pumpkin spice milk actually uses great ingredients. After the gym I came home and I made apple pancakes in the cast iron for Corey and the babies. I used my go-to sourdough discard pancake recipe, which I can link down below, but it's from Little Spoon Farm. I switched it up by doing like a baked pancake, and then I did apples at the bottom. We still have a bunch of apples from the orchard, and so I've just kind of been thinking of ways to use them up, and this was a great way to use it up. I try to show you how small these apples were, so I used 2, but I think you could probably use 1 more normal bigger size apple, and you just want to cut them super thin, lay them flat in your cast iron pan. While I was cutting the apples and preparing things, I had my cast iron in the oven while the oven was preheating to 400 degrees, and so that the butter melted, get a little brown, like a brown butter type deal. Pull out your pan before the butter burns, because if it stays in there too long the butter will burn and then your pancake's gonna taste burnt. After that, I laid the apples down, and then I put the sourdough discard pancake recipe on top. If you don't make sourdough, you could easily do this with any other pancake recipe. I've also done this before with like a Kodiak protein pancake mix. I've done it with, I feel like I've done it with the Simple Mills almond flour pancake mix before too. I can't remember exactly, but you don't have to use sourdough discard if you don't make sourdough, but the sourdough pancake discard recipe is very good. I try to flip this. I've done this with peaches too and try to flip it, and it just never flips, but it's so bizarre to me because then when I cut it out and slice it, pull the pancake out, it doesn't stick. So I don't know, maybe one of these days it'll flip out and it'll look all pretty and aesthetic the other way around. After Lev went down for his morning nap, I decided to make my go-to breakfast. I've been having some variation of this breakfast for I think like 1 or 2 months now, and it is just boiled eggs with some kind of like, I'll either do chicken sausage on the side or I'll do sardines, and then I usually either do some mixed greens like spinach and arugula, or I'll do some fruit on the side. I want to show you how I boil my eggs. I know everyone knows how to boil an egg, but do you know how to get the perfect egg? You want to put your eggs in the water when it's cold and then bring it to a boil. Once it boils, turn it off, put the lid on. I turn off the stove, and I put the lid on and leave the eggs for 5 minutes. That gives like the perfect little bit of a jammy texture inside, but I wouldn't call it soft boiled, kind of in between soft and hard, so I guess medium boiled. If you want your eggs more runny or less runny, just add a minute or 2 on either side, but you want to turn off the heat. That's the little trick. Next, I decided to get some cookie dough batter ready for the evening. As I said, we were having friends over for the first football game of the season. I don't like football. It was funny, I texted one of my friends and I was like, I will just be chatting the whole time. I'm not here to watch, but Corey loves football and our friends actually like football. So yeah, we're gonna have guests over. This is again a chocolate chip cookie recipe I make very often, probably at least once a week, and so I know that I can make it in advance and it sits very well in the fridge, so it's just kind of something to get out of the way. And while Lev was napping, I whipped this up with Jude. She loves helping me bake, and this recipe, she also has made it probably like at least 10-20 times because she usually helps me make this. One of my tips for like hosting is try and as I host more, I get better and better at it. At like most things, you get better at it. Try and do things that you can kind of prep in advance and still turn out super good, and no one would know that you prepped it in advance. For lunch, I was just not really wanting to cook up something extreme because I knew that I was going to be doing some extra cooking at night for our guests, and so I went to our favorite bagel place in this area. It's a little further away from us, but like 15 minutes away from our house, called Baked Bagels, and I got the babies these little bagel bites, served them also a little fruit and I don't think it was a fruit and yogurt, fruit and like rice protein pouch, and then some blueberries. And I got myself a pumpkin bagel with pumpkin cream cheese. Very yummy. What a lovely midday treat. Then when dinner time rolled around, because we were having friends over, I just made dinner for the babies, and I decided to make them this like high protein hidden veggie pasta dish. I put in a little blender some frozen cauliflower rice, some red bell pepper, and carrots. I also at the same time was cutting up some veggies for our friends that were coming over. I like to always have some kind of fruit or veggie when I'm serving food because, you know, health. And this is another tip if you're hosting people. Try and feed 2 birds with 1 loaf. Like while I was cutting up the veggies for the pasta for the babies, I was also cutting up the veggies for my friends. So yeah, I ended up adding some hemp seeds to this little mixture, some Greek yogurt to add some protein to it, and then I did jarred tomatoes. So the jar I'm using is just plain tomatoes and salt. And then I cooked that on the stove with some extra Monterey Jack that I had in the fridge just to kind of get rid of it and add actual cheesiness to the meal. And then I added some Goodles protein pasta, again, to give them a little bit more protein, and served that with avocados and blueberries on the side. Both babies enjoyed this. Lev more than Jude. Lev loves pasta. Jude, I don't really have to do like hidden veggie things because she likes veggies on their own. Lev is a little, I wouldn't even call him picky, but he's more particular about his food than Jude, and he loved this as well. After the babies, I think Corey was upstairs putting them down for bed, or they're already in bed. The last thing I wanted to get done before our friends came over, I was making some pumpkin brownies, and then I was going to make chicken wings because, you know, chicken wings and football I feel like go together. I will link this pumpkin brownie recipe down below. I switched it up a little bit. So the recipe said to like layer, like to split the batter in half, do 1 brownie and then 1 pumpkin half, and then layer them and then do a swirl on top. I was like, I'm not doing all that. It's going to taste the same. And I was running a little bit low on time. I think if I had more time, that'd be fun for the aesthetics, but for taste wise, I just mixed it all together. Everyone enjoyed these. It doesn't have like a huge hit of pumpkin, but a little bit pumpkin. It's like a little bit pumpkin-y with the brownie to add a little fall touch, and I thought that was good. Last thing I made was some chicken wings, as I said, and I looked up a recipe online just for like how long to air fry them for, but I ended up air frying them for much longer than the recipe said. I didn't follow the seasoning measurements. Anytime I see a recipe online, I'm doing my own seasoning. I'm just letting the ancestors speak to me. I air fried those. I didn't want to show the raw chicken very long, so I feel like no one wants to see that. But yeah, I did a lemon pepper dry rub, and then I served it with buffalo sauce and Bolthouse Caesar dressing on the side. Then I baked up the cookies, served everything, and it ended up being so good. We had so much fun. I'm gonna let the rest of this video just play out because I thought the end was funny. I was talking to my best friend as she came over. She was one of their friends that came over with her new baby, which I actually have a vlog over. But yeah, that was everything I made in my kitchen today. Let me know if you're still enjoying these videos. As I said, I'm still enjoying making them, but yeah, if you're getting bored of them, I can stop. I hope you liked seeing what I made in my kitchen today, and I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. Bye.
Mine is too. I need to fix it because right now it's set to work and it's really annoying.
Oh, so it goes automatically?
It turns on, like, it blocks everybody except for because when you were late.
Let's get the chicken. The chicken looks good.